Hi there.
Hi there. We're reading the second chapter of Santa and Pete.
Well, my cat's on name. Nubby, a black clown. This is Elizabeth, and I'm Addison, and my daddy is named Mike.
Okay, I think you told him that yesterday. You don't have to tell him that every day, unless you want to. Now, let's read. Come on. Get over here and sit with Mommy. Leave stuff alone. I was only 7 when my grandfather told me this story for the first time. Can you please sit still?
Okay.
My parents had decided to send me out with him each Saturday morning. As a city bus driver, he looped around Manhattan's 12 miles again and again, giving his passengers a running commentary on all of the changes this island city has been over the centuries. His ancestors, African, Indian, and Dutch, had settled Manhattan long ago, and he loved to tell about it. Initially, I thought it would be pure torture to sit still all day listening to a never-ending story lesson. I remember grumbling when my mother first told me of the plan. She came to my room on a Friday evening before dinner, as I sat among the ever-present clutter. Wait, let's leave the toys alone and listen. Get over here and listen. Mwah.
I love you.
I love you too. Your father and I want you to get to know him better. He is your only living grandparent, she explained as she surveyed the chaos with her arms folded across her chest. Clearly, my brain was nowhere near as clean as I claimed when I talked her into letting me play outside for an extra half hour. Are you making faces?
No.
Quit licking your hand. It's nasty. Though still in her 20s, my mother wore her long black hair in a bun and her cat eye glasses low on her button nose. What did I say about the toys? Let's leave the toys alone while we get done reading. Yeah, I have to deal with this every day. Quit licking me! Sorry. Where was I? Listen. She worked as a librarian at the County Cullen branch of the New York Public Library. That, her way with crossword puzzles, and her huge vocabulary had me convinced that she was the smartest person on the planet. What more do I need to know about him? I asked her, trying to kick a couple of toys under the bed with the back of my heel. I had zero interest in their babysitting plan, figuring my grandfather didn't know a thing about boys my age. Not that he was a mean man. In fact, people throughout the neighborhood praised his kindness and his willingness to lend a hand. He often showed up at a new neighbor's home with his toolbox, helping to transfer many
times
depleted brownstones into an urban palace. But to spend every Saturday with him, since church took up most of Sunday, I wouldn't have time over the weekend to play with my friends. Well, maybe you should think about your family sometimes. I hadn't spent much time alone with my grandfather, though he and my grandmother had visited our home often when I was younger. They brought a lot of laughter with them, although they sometimes joked that they had to hold hands to keep from fighting. My grandmother died when I was 5, and the sadness rushed in and claimed my grandfather. Oh no, that's sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
Without laughter, his towering stature intimidated me, and his thunderous voice made me quake. There's plenty you don't know about him, my mother told me, watching my crafty footwork without comment. And some things I'm sure he'd like to know about you.
Did you say in the book it said Remember?
Yes, it said that his grandmother had passed away. Yes. But not yours. Yours is still alive. So, if it's okay with you, then you'll ride with him tomorrow. I sat there stumped for a moment. I wanted to tell her that my friend Basil and I were supposed to fly kites the next day. Or maybe I could tell her that I had a stomachache that I was certain would stretch well into next week. Or I could just tell her the truth, that my grandfather made me nervous. Just don't tell him about my room, I yelled out as her shoes clicked against the hardwood floor all the way down the hall. Then clean it up, she yelled back, laughing. The next morning, as my parents fixed breakfast, I eavesdropped on their conversation from my favorite hiding place under the stairwell.
So I was talking to Becca.
Yeah, she likes to talk to the cats and the dogs sometimes. It was a cubby hole where I kept my marbles and my borrowed way program from A Raisin in the Sun. I like to sit there, listen in, and pick up good gossip. You shouldn't listen in on your parents' conversations. That's not nice to do.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not nice to do. Although I was often at a loss to make any sense of it. This particular morning, however, as my father scraped butter across a slice of toast and Miles Davis' sketches of Spain played in the background, I learned two things. First, our roof needed to be replaced, and second, my parents' decision to match me up with my grandfather and me was more for his benefit than mine. As I listened, they went on about my grandmother's passing and my grandfather's lingering grief. All he does is work, my mother said. He didn't even come to Thanksgiving dinner because he volunteered to cover someone else's shift. Well, that was nice of him. It's like he's avoiding the holidays and family altogether. Still shaken by her mother's death, she seemed worried that she was losing her father too. I heard the spatula tapping the plates and imagined them loaded with bacon, eggs, and toast. That sounds yummy. When hunger finally snared me into the kitchen from my perch, my parents both looked at me silently. Then each of them tipped over the other, asking me if I was excited about spending the day with my grandfather. What could I say after everything I heard? I wasn't thrilled, but my grandfather needed me, and I needed a few things from Sam. With Christmas only 4 weeks away, this was no time to mess up. The chapter 2 is over. We'll read chapter 3 tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.